Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the round. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Friday Night Fights. I'm your host, Weewoo. Today, for the EU branch, I will be with Maz. For those of you who don't know Maz, it's really easy to introduce him. I just click this mission info button. I click on either Bluefor or Opfor uniform, and there you go. He's the author. He's the guy that makes all these kits here. So I can yell at him if I feel like the kits are imbalanced. Yay!
Yep.
Anyway, how are you doing today, Maz?
I'm doing very good. How about you?
I'm A-okay. It's just time for some more Arma 3 PvP, and we'll see what the player base of FNF decides to do. Otherwise, getting right into the mission here. This one was made by Banks, background being November 2030. After a disastrous NATO attempt at destroying Russian artillery lined up on the... I get it. Ostedia... English.
Ossetia.
On the Ossetia line, U.S. Army engineers, Bluefor, have nearly completed construction of a FOB just 2 kilometers from the Russian-Georgia border. In both retaliation for the failed attack and out of concern for the potential buildup of enemy troops along the border, Russian forces Opfor have mobilized to locate and destroy supply trucks bound for the new base in an effort to delay construction while planners plot Russia's next move. Notes, due to the number of vehicles in the AO, Opfor must take note of the specific type of truck they need to destroy. There are only 3 of these types of trucks hidden among similar trucks, and a picture of them is available in map menu -tasks. That's cool. We've seen a few ops like these done before. Also, this is a build-up of a mission that was run, I think, before the World War II branch a long while ago, so that should be interesting. But otherwise, mission rules: do not move or attempt to move the objective trucks. They have to stay as statics. Otherwise, these trucks are pretty much the MRVR supply trucks, more of the Cold War-esque style, with the repair tools in the back. They are repair trucks by default. I like to take these, though, and give them everything for triple RVIX when I use them for related operations. But regardless, all 3 of these trucks need to be destroyed by Opfor before the time limits or before they're all wiped by Bluefor. Otherwise, your standard 15-minute safe start round, 50 minutes for the entirety of the round. Max view distance is going to be a kilometer. No magnified optics nor NVG equipment default. Defender build points are going to be about 150, about 25 over the normal 125 you see, or I guess have seen in the past. I've seen that mission makers have been a lot more fluid with that number, changing it how they see fit, which is nice. Adds to the variables. Otherwise, mat settings, medium anti-tank. Both sides are going to have 2 AT rounds per launcher, so 2 with the launcher and then 2 with the assistant for the launcher per squad that has the medium anti-tank weapon. Otherwise, Bluefor are going to be our modern Army multicam camouflage kits made by Maz. Quick breakdown of the meaning of all of this. We have platoon lead, platoon sergeant, squad leader, team leader, auto rifleman, assistant, grenadier, grenadier IR, which means they have the hunt IR rounds, which are little 40mm grenades that you fire up into the air, and then they parachute down. It's basically a little camera you can connect to. It has normal vision and night vision, no thermal vision or optics, though. And then you got machine gunner assistant, combat engineer, light anti-tank, medium anti-tank 1 and 2, and then their assistants respectively. That's what that extra A means. Your recon infantry scout, which have the suppressed weapons. Your DMR guy, I like to always make a note of him when we have this type of loadout because we don't see his weapon in the loadout section. But for Bluefor, that appears to be a Mark 11, which means it has a 20-round 7.62x51 NATO magazine. So packs quite a bit of a punch. You got the sniper for the X-ray team, crew lead, crewmen, pilots, medic, and then the base kit there. Loadouts otherwise are going to be M16A4s with M4A1s, both 5.56 platforms, as well as a Glock 17 for the secondary, 249 and 240 Gulf for the light machine gunner and the medium machine gunner respectively. Breakdown kit-wise for the uniform, it would be the auto rifleman and machine gun slots. Light anti-tank is going to be your M136 single-shot disposable launcher. Sniper gets a choice of multiple different types of M2010s with different camos. Your 2 scout infantrymen get either a suppressed Mark 14 or a suppressed SOCOM 16. Both are 20-round 7.62x51 NATO battle rifles. And then you have either an MP7 SMG or an M4A1 for the crew and aviation slots, should they need to dismount and use them. Otherwise, Bluefor's VICs include a Mutt Jeep, an MRZR, 1 repair VIC listed here, which I think that might be the objective vehicle or a decoy. I don't know. We'll take a look at that on the objectives later. You got 3 MTVR transports and 2 static M2s. Meanwhile, switching back over to Opfor. Opfor have sort of reload sound. That's kind of spooky. That was very loud. Oh well. This one we just see the EMR kits for Russians. I'm going to assume their marksman rifle is going to be the SVD, because that's generally how Russians work. Then again, I have the guy who made the kits right here. Maz, do they get the SVD for the DMR?
Yep, they do with the NPZ on it, rail.
Excellent. So they are able to use Bluefor, Western optics would be the proper term. Mirror matches everything a bit better. Now, these guys, they have a lot of different types of weapons they can use, but all are basically modernized versions of the AK-74 with Zentico rails or the UUK rail. What's the difference between the Zentico and the UUK? I know the Zentico lets them use Western optics, but what does the UUK allow them to use?
They're all the same in terms of what they can use. They're just
Gotcha.
minor differences in how it's being held.
Yeah, and the stock and the look of the gun. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So all can use Western optics is what you're saying.
Yep. The only weapons that I believe Opfor can't use Western optics with are the AR and the machine gun.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
For
So
this kit.
otherwise, mainly AK-74s. We have an AK-74 UN, submachine gun variant. MP-443 is the handgun. RPK for the auto rifleman, and the PKP for the machine gunner, respectively. RPG-26 single-shot disposable AT for the light anti-tank. Recon gets a T-5000 338 sniper rifle. And then the 2 scouts get a choice of either 45-round magazines for the AKS or the AS-Val 20-round magazines. I've heard eyewitness testimony from people that have used both. Both are pieces of shit that they've told me, like, in terms of trying to kill people in FNF with them. They hate both. They detest both, Maz. It's
Which ones?
either the AKS or the AS-Val.
Yeah, they're pretty garbage.
I've been told they're garbo. Yeah. And then crew
Actually,
navy.
the AS-Val is using armor penetration ammo.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it that because it has smaller rounds and it's
Right.
silenced.
Mm-hmm.
But you can actually one-shot people with the AS-Val.
I've never seen it though. Like I've just seen
Yeah,
it's very finicky. Yeah.
Higher penetration.
Who knows? Otherwise, crew and aviation gets either the PV-2000 or the AKS submachine gun. Otherwise, nothing on crew-served weapons. They get 6 transport Vodniks, which are amphibious. Not sure if that'll be helpful here. We'll take a look at the AO in a second. 3 transport UAZs, the PKT Vodnik with a forward-facing and a rear-facing PKT, and a BTR-80. Otherwise, going over our roster here, starting with our attackers on Opfor, we got Tenderbaner commanding. He takes it time and time again. We'll see how he does. He's got Metasfine at his, as his platoon medic. Swola leading X-Ray. Ash as the 2IC. No, he's, I think, the medic under him, because I don't see a medical symbol anywhere else. Tackleberry is going to be the sniper there. Wheaton taking the AKS as one of the suppressed infantry guys, and Eric Kiru taking the AKS as well. More ammo compared to the AS-Val. Banks, I think, is the 2IC there, slash spotter. I honestly don't remember which one's which there. I just know there's rifleman, the suppressed guys, the sniper, and the squad leader. And the medic.
Yeah, so we have a new update where instead of the grenadier being in the X-ray slot, it gets replaced with a spotter specifically.
Because I remember back in the old framework, they had a spotter in there as well, and
Yeah,
I think that got washed out.
Silence guys used to be the spotters.
Yeah.
And then there was a grenadier in it. We replaced the grenadier with a spotter and removed the spotting stuff from the silence guys.
Gotcha. Holton leading Alpha with Azuki, Black Dog, Lusod, Pro Hunter, Good Time Saddam, Solomon, Roderick, Thompson, Derek Crum, Oddball, and Jack. Nemesis leading Bravo. Bravo for opting to keep itself split with Gabian leading Bravo 1 with Hyander, who has AT. Always good to note that. Whiplash, Burton, Malin, and Tilsiter. And then Nafs leading Bravo 2 with Cullis, Casual, Azariah, Yanni, Finn, Katz, and Dobbs. We have Pepega Pirates on Opfor as well. Kane leading Newton and Coco, Kale, Bravo. And as I say that, they merged the groups together. Flux, Kakier, Michael, Schnuffles, Guy Fieri, and Bayance all together. And then Gamma is going to be the BTR crew of Bates and Gordon together. Now, Scandi Recon, Pepega Pirates. Scandi being in Bravo right now, Pepega and Charlie, I would say the 2 best groups in FNF. As of late, though, their win-loss ratio of being together has kind of turned around. It used to be they were almost unstoppable when they were both on the same side, but before they switched to IFA, the World War II stuff, so I'm counting the stuff before then and then after, which has only been for a few weeks, it hasn't been as hot. So not a safe bet there, even with top players like Bayant here, that they're going to win this round. However, they are on the offensive side, and that gives them more wiggle room to work with. Scandi and Papega are definitely better offensive players than defensive, so we'll have to see how the rest of that plays out, but I am hopeful. But let's go ahead and look at the Bluefor roster here. Bluefor is going to be commanded by Fred. Decent commander in his own right as well. Griff leading the X-Ray team, Allen being the Grenadier, Blam being the Sniper, Stark being the 2IC, and then Shade going with the SOCOM 16, Mackenzie going with the Mark 14. Both are your suppressed scouts. G-Legs up on the top on Alpha HQ, but he might not be leading it because I see a slash name under him, which means, especially since I don't see...
so he's the squad crew member?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So that's why he's at the top.
Yep, and then we can confirm that with the crew member helmet there, which means no one took Alpha squad lead. Instead, you have Reapers as a team lead that merged with G-Legs,
So
which
actually,
is why he's under him.
There is. So there's three. There's Reapers, Lolo, and Vagrant. I would assume Vagrant's squad leading. Because Vagrant's Vagrant.
True.
But what they've done is they took both Alpha 1 and Alpha 2 and done a mega squad,
Yeah.
as we call it.
Yeah, it's weird, though, because I agree with you. Vagrant normally would take squad leaders. So this means I think Vagrant left the Alpha HQ group and then merged back into it, which is why he's on the bottom of the list now, because otherwise he would be up top above G-Legs. That's something I've never seen before, but yeah, technically if they leave and rejoin, that's how the roster would then sort them. So I'd assume Vagrant is commanding, because as Maz said, Vagrant is Vagrant. You usually see him in the squad leader role. So he's got Reaper, Seismo, Spiky, Galil, Sam, Lolo, and Skip under him. Sayek leading Charlie 1. I don't see another slash in either Charlie 1 or Charlie 2, so again, I don't think they took a squad leader. So he's got Dooley, Tymek, Despo. I always call him Despacito. It's Depso. I never realized the S was in front of the P, and I think I just realized that yesterday during OFCRA, and that threw me off. And then we got Ace as well. Popsy leading Charlie 2 with Yuru, Yatika, Deska.
These are new guys.
Yeah, because I can't pronounce the damn name. Deska Kesper. All right. Llama, Bartek, and Audi. Some of these names we saw in OFCRA yesterday. And then Shy leading Delta with Olaf, Mutant, Wise, Pierce, Fawn, Sanchez, and Wayne. So Bluefor has a full roster page here. Opfor, meanwhile, only has a full page, but basically a little below Charlie. They have that extra infantry, so that's their 8% numbers advantage in play there. But otherwise, looking at the AO here, we have the trucks in the middle of a bunch of different trucks. I remember there was a Gulf Coast mission where they had a similar topic for the mission concept, where it was a convoy of vehicles, but the attacking faction had to take them out. So that's where he got the concept from. I kind of like that. You can be a little crafty with the positioning of the Vix. Now, if all of the Vix... I remember in that one he had canopies on the Vix as well, so people had actually checked the rear of the vehicle there to see if it was the munitions they were trying to destroy, or could it have just been a flatbed or a transport truck. So here it's a little more open. For seeing the repair stuff on the back. There's no canopies in play other than for some of the transport trucks, so it's a little easier for the attacking faction this time around to come in and find where those trucks are. But I've already spotted 2 of them, and I'm trying to find the third at the moment.
You spotted the ones on the road. Right?
Yep. So, and then the third one's under that hanger. All right, that makes sense.
Also, you mind if I break the squads down for you and how it's laid out?
Yeah, go nuts.
So, Alpha and Charlie, for each, we've made them identical. Alpha and Charlie are the assault elements. They don't have any big guns in it, minus there is a squad. So there's 2 fire teams in each squad. One for Alpha is an assault team, and then one of the teams is a base of fire team that has a machine gun in it. But the only ones that have Matt and have multiple machine guns is Delta and Bravo. So typically, if you want to see if a team is messing up, if they send Bravo and Delta in to an assault and not Alpha and Charlie, you know they're messing up.
See, and
that's not who you want to send in.
I didn't know that, so now we do know. Awesome.
It's one of the telltale signs when you're in brief and someone's saying Bravo's going to charge in, you know you're going to lose. Because they're sending in the base of fire guys. who can't
Understandable.
handle an assault.
Yeah, because they need to have their weapons supported, or they have the medium anti-tank, which is meant to be used at range.
Oh.
Amazing.
Well, we have to respawn now with the admin, so I'm sure they'll respawn people. So we don't have to restart rounds.
That killed most of X-Ray. And Alpha Squad Leader, who's still flying away right now. He's still in bounds, too. Good for him. Wow. What a land... Oh, he's going underground now. Well, I would say that is a successful U.S. rocket launch there. Okay. I completely forgot to prep my sticky note for writing down highlights, too. All right. Awesome.
Right at the beginning.
Right at the beginning. That's always a good sign. Oh, man.
Let's see if they respawn people.
Nope. Restart the mission right now. Do it. All 15 minutes. Ay, ay, ay. Well, in the meantime...
Opfor is doing a really elongated convoy.
Yeah, they've got some forces diverging off, though.
So how would you attack this, Liru, if you were Opfor?
You know, that's a great question. Honestly, the AO's in the corner, so you're very limited on where you can approach it from. I would probably just do a pincer move of one force from the north, one force from the west. And whichever side... I mean, at that point, though, it's really hard to micro FNF, so I would just throw them in and see what happens. Because that AO, you don't really have a lot of room to attack it from different angles, because there's only two you can come in. I also have seen FNF comms and know how people play in FNF, so you just kind of send them in, put the BTR on one of the roads coming in to give support, try to give them some range to avoid AT, and otherwise just go for it. I would have X-Ray probably between the two groups providing sniper support instead of keeping them at one weird corner. But I will be curious to see how X-Ray is used in this mission, because there is no little hill for them to run off to. They actually have to play the fucking op.
Yep.
Damn. Who would have thought? But go ahead, Matt. Sorry, I cut you off on accident.
No, that's fine. I was going to say, so looking at Bluefor's defenses now, I mean, you can't tell this as Opfor command, but
yeah.
Their defense seems to be focused mainly on the north and northeast. They've pretty much just not even tried to defend the west. The only unit over there is Alpha HQ.
Yep.
And they're not in a position to stop an assault from the west.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, they're too low. They can only see about 100 meters to the blown up buildings, and that's it.
I don't know. You think Opfor is going to try to run a squad on the border all the way on the southern side? I would think that's too thin to get maneuvering done. But who's commanding?
Tenderbanger.
He might do it. Not a guarantee. Actually, I'd say it's a low likelihood, but we'll see.
He's been kind of a junior commanding with Vagrant a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised if he gets the ride the border edge from Vagrant.
Yeah.
Then again, this also kind of forces you to ride the border edge unless you want to just go straight in.
Yeah, with how this mission's set up. But it looks like Opfor, they're going to commit one squad to the northern border, and they're putting everything else around the western side. So we'll just have to see.
I just realized also, you can't tell as a spectator when the enemy's starting location is hidden.
Yeah.
Because we can see them.
Yep.
Based off Opfor's movement right now, I would say they couldn't see Bluefor spawn because look how cautious they're being. They're dismounting like a kilometer away.
I'm going to be honest, I can see the argument on both sides of that of, okay, you know, it makes Opfor more cautious, but I'm going to be also clear with this. It just slows down the round.
It definitely does, and when we allow them to do it, the mission makers, whether they want to do it or not, it's a hit or a miss. If you get an AO that's much smaller, like the ones you were seeing in World War II, it makes sense to do that, because then you don't know as the attacker how far up they've deployed. But for this, it's just, you know, it's like 4 or 5 kilometers.
Yeah. Well, no, it's only 1 to 2.
Is it?
If you scroll up, yeah, it's not as far as you think, thankfully.
Wide, yeah.
Well, Suma itself is only like I think a 10 by 10, so. But regardless, I would prefer shorter rounds with less walking and the same amount of combat compared to longer rounds with just more walking in general, with a lot of maneuvering, because it just gets tedious, you know, because you're already waiting 15 minutes at base for, you know, the average experience is you're waiting for the leaders to make their plan, set their plan, and then, you know, the 70% of you that are riflemen or, you know, other roles under leadership then just have to do the forward march, and then, you know, first firefight, someone's gonna die there, and then that's their experience, you know, 30 minutes of waiting and maneuvering, and then boom, they're dead. So I'm always a fan of keeping the action at a quicker pace, regardless of what people say. But, you know, there's plenty of other places where if you want to do 6 hours of just driving around and doing nothing, I've seen communities that do that. So that's what's nice about Arma. There's something for everyone.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, so I'd say Opfor is going to be about 5 to 10 minutes behind here, trying to get in position as they slowly maneuver. That northern group, I think, is X-Ray. Yep. So they're going to be incredibly cautious moving down this route. But I can't believe it, though. They actually found a way to put X-Ray still on their own in this scenario.
That's just F&F culture. You just
Oh my
go
God.
right to the other side of the map from where you are.
I really don't get it, because the two suppressed guys could be great for a scouting force, then you keep the marksman or the sniper team. In a small AO like this, you just keep them with the main force and you have them pick people off on the defensive line. I've never understood why that's not used, and the 2 times I've seen it used that way, one was with King commanding, the only time I've seen him command, where he won his mission, like fucking steamrolled that bitch. And then the other one I don't remember, they kept X-Ray's sniper with the main force and he just started picking people off left, right, and center. It was brilliant, but nope. Apparently that's only for people that want to win.
I will say I like Bluefor's use of X-Ray here.
Oh yeah, as a forward force,
Yeah.
kind of in the middle, and the way they're spread out, looking at various directions here based off of where we're seeing that on the map. Yeah, no, I agree. But as soon as they take contact, they need to pull back.
Absolutely, yeah.
'Cause
They're
otherwise
good
they're
location
just
right
scuffed.
near that crossroads, though.
And then the positioning of, well, you know, if forces are coming from the north, they're going to have to go around that little pond there. So that gives X-Ray more room to look around. But they definitely shouldn't engage from that position.
Oh, yeah.
No.
They're in a low land on the other side of a road.
Yeah, it's a tough call. This is U.S. versus Russia, U.S. on the Georgian border.
What is interesting is if you look at Bluefor's defense, they have Delta all the way to the east, looking up towards X-Ray, up for X-Ray.
What intense
And then you have Alpha
firefight.
and Charlie that have formed a battle
Just gonna
line.
have one guy with a PKP fire at the
Down to the
convoy from like
south.
2 kilometers away and then run. And then an airstrike get called on that hill and do nothing.
In fact, they're sending some guys up to the southwest. Who's this? Yeah, part of Alpha.
Again, 5 to 10 minutes of more maneuvering here. If we're lucky, because Opfor might just hit a brick wall and command might take a second to get comms over to say, okay, let's move this slowly. If we're lucky, the X-Rays will engage each other and that'll heighten Opfor's pace. Bluefor probably might send the northern group from the base to push that position, but everything else that Bluefor set up here wouldn't be compromised otherwise because of how Opfor is deploying their force. So any forces Bluefor pulls over to the X-Ray fight aren't going to be wasted in that regard.
Yeah, if X-Ray gets engaged here for Opfor, they're going to get pincered and destroyed. So hopefully they don't push up anymore.
So we have another 10 minutes of maneuvering. That's literally going to be about 20 minutes of maneuvering. Then I want to say 10 to 15 minutes of action, in all honesty, based off of where Bluefor set up. I could see Opfor quickly steamrolling, because knowing Pepega and Scandi, they're going to push. They're going to literally just pop smokes and push into the objective, which worries me a little bit, because half of Bluefor is on the northern side of the AO. So they could be caught out of position as Opfor literally just charges in. We could see them immediately pull back to the defensive line to the south as contact is called from Lolo and Kabaya's position. They're the 2 westernmost guys on that AO, but that's a tough call either way. But as I'm seeing this, I'm seeing Opfor now on the northern side of the western push starting to head east. So these guys might try to encircle the AO instead, which I think is a mistake because you're just going to be fighting all the sides that Bluefor has set up. It's better, in my opinion, if you have the room to just push on one angle and watch your flanks for counterattacks. So you can easily overwhelm and push through and get into fortified positions. But FNF really likes to do encirclements, taking as much area as they can. And if you can win that fight, cool, because you do a lot of damage to the enemy. But it also greatly opens you up to, one force just pulling back and then counterattacking a flank. And almost every time I've seen that happen, the attacker ends up losing because they just lose too many people to that flank attack. But again, with Scandi and Pepega on the Opfor side, two of the most aggressive factions here, they're going to just keep pushing. And since there's no secondary objective to go to, this is all just within a few hundred meters of each other, that push is going to be very effective.
I will say Fred, as Bluefor Command, he has a tough job right now because of the layout and geography of the map. It's rolling hills and a bunch of forest. So he needs to spread his guys out, but not too far, because if he spreads them out, like, if you have Charlie and Alpha, if they closed in right now, if they weren't so far away and they got on Alpha, it'd be game over immediately.
I'm going to be honest, I think Bluefor is set up to fail here because they just don't have the manpower in their plan right now. If they had another squad to watch their western flank, they'd be golden. Yeah. But the west right now has this massive opening on it, and you've got Alpha and Charlie for Bluefor here who have set up these nice trench lines, but they're going to have to abandon those, which will open groups like Alpha and Charlie on Opfor who are pushing from this angle to potentially take Bluefor Alpha's trench line and use that as cover for pushing in. So right off the bat, this is looking like an Opfor victory, just where all the dice are falling right now, but something silly could happen.
I mean, so...
and turn things around. And we see Bluefor X-Ray maneuvering right now. Real quick, last point, and then I'll cut to you. 50-50, they're either going to come back and harass Opfor and do something, or they're going to completely drive out of position and just be useless the entire game.
I would not trust X-Ray to be useful.
Yeah.
Ever.
The one time recently I can think of, this was before the World War II iteration, the sniper for, I think, the defensive side, this was on one of the Angola maps. I don't know how, but the attacking squad didn't hear him when he was like, 20 meters behind him. He just started picking everyone off by headshots. Yeah, just because the squad just turned their fucking ears off. This dude just started like headshotting people. And here I am watching him like, why is no one turning around? Like, this is crazy. And then finally the last guy turns around only to get headshot. And I'm like, my fucking God, what is this? But yeah, that was a crazy round. But again, that's the outlier. That's probably never going to happen again.
That's what I was gonna say.
But what was your point? That was it?
Bluefor Delta, at this point, if I was Fred, I'd be pulling them back. It was a good idea to send them up there.
Yeah.
But it's been too long now for the Opfor maneuvering. He should know that something's not right, and he should be pulling them back and plugging that western defense up.
Bro, Steve just got banned. No, Steve! Because he's up in a staging room above us. I'm a little confused about that, but who knows?
He might have an IP something that's been banned before. Pepega leading the spearhead right now.
Yeah,
in the
of course they are on Charlie. Scandi would be over at... yeah, they're in Bravo, so they're taking up the rear.
Yeah, we're going to have first contact probably between Lolo and Guy Fieri, my husband.
I'm going to call this now. I think this mission's going to be over by the 45-minute mark. I don't see it going past that. This will probably be a 30-minute round with that 15-minute save start, so... Not a bad opening. Could have gone quicker based off of how things were set up, but... I mean, that's given Bluefor some time to reposition their defensive forces, which, as I think you just said, Delta is pulling back right now.
Nice, that's good.
They will need that manpower.
Timing might open up here, and if Pepega get into contact, Delta could be used as a QRF force.
To flank.
Really help. Yep.
There is room to do that.
Alpha might catch them out if they try to do that from the north, though.
Yeah. But Alpha's online with Charlie, so...
yeah, but if Delta come straight across right now to where Alpha is, they'll get completely caught out in the open. Because Alpha has the high ground. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, so Skip just saw some of Opfor coming over that hillside. He's got guns up. Charlie's about to come right on top of 2 members of Bluefor. Contact's being called. Lolo is now looking north.
They should be squad radioing that, but they don't look like they are.
See, this is what sucks, though. The rain's on, so people aren't going to be able to hear footsteps.
They could hear the sloshing sound, but it'd be pretty close.
They'd have to be within 3 to 4 meters.
Yep.
They could hear each other's local communications. Lolo just turned, and he's now facing north. You
King's
can
about to walk
very
right up on him.
faintly hear the rain. Kabaya got cake here, there. Lolo might have just put a shot in there as well, but there was a trade. Lolo gets a great GL shot.
He just got 2 with that, because he just did 2 in a row. He got
Nice.
cake here and someone else.
Keen's turning around trying to look, but he can't see Lolo through the tree. Got Bayant moving up as well. I love that they unnerfed grenades and explosive damage from FNF. It's so nice.
Well, that's what the first kill was with shrapnel.
Well, I mean, seeing that ever since they, I think last week was when they first started doing that. Or it might have been the week before, but
Nope. We buffed it probably 3-4 months ago.
I just haven't been seeing it till recently. But you know, I'm happy that it's there.
See the kills count if you get shrapnel down. Who's it without him, but he's got sniper. I don't know, man. I think Bluefor is actually going to turn this around now.
Flux and Bayant found Lolo and took him out. We've got Delta moving on the northern side. Now it's just going to be all about attrition. But GL's here. If Opfor can get some GLs on Bluefor's defensive line, that's all they need. AT going off, hitting the 3rd objective area. If Opfor, you got to remember too, you got some really good AT guys in Papega and Scandy, so if they can just get lines up on those trucks and take them out from range, like they just did, then it's going to be over.
Flux went down. I'm looking for who just killed that.
That was someone in Papega.
You'd think, I'm not seeing it.
Bluefor firing some GLs up as well in the middle of the formation, but otherwise, oh, there's another one that just went off. That was pretty close. So you got to remember, though, you still have Scandy coming in behind Papega, who's making the spearhead, and then you got the BTR coming out, which I don't think the BTR is going to be that useful, if any use at all. It's just going to be AT bait, but even if Bluefor comes up and flanks and eliminates Alpha, you're still going to have Papega and Scandy right on top of the other 2 objectives. Again, this is probably going to be over by the 40-minute mark at this rate, just with the speed that Papega's going. I do appreciate Bluefor's trying to fold forces back to cover the other 2 trucks, but the other 2 trucks are vulnerable from range, so
I think someone GL'd that truck because I'm not seeing it on anyone's scoreboard.
Again, I think the truck should have been a little covered. They should have been covered to at least get the proper PID on them from close range, because otherwise people can just show up and hit them from afar. Because that's exactly what I think Iander's going to end up doing. Got the 50 cal trying to suppress King's position. Guy Fieri already on top of this area. He's a medic, though, not an explosive specialist. But him forwarding this... Let's see what pickoffs he gets.
He's running right into 4 people right now.
Grenades.
Grenade guy.
I love how his cover's moving. Oh! Yeah, the little concrete slabs are now sliding around.
It's a prop hunt.
Oh my god. Alright, so you got that Delta Force now flanking elements of Alpha to the north, trying to open up with GLs and explosives. Opfor X-Ray still a little out of position. They gotta move a bit closer to be useful.
I didn't realize Bluefor Bluefor X-ray.
Bluefor X-ray did come up on the rear. Yep, they are doing damage to Alpha as well, so a lot of rear and flank attacks. I'm going to be honest, Bluefor Command is playing this as well as he could right now. It's just with how many Opfor guys are within striking range of their remaining 2 objectives, I just don't think it's going to be enough. Fury woke back up. He's going to be able to blood bag himself, slap some tourniquets on, and keep fighting. Now you got Olaf trying to lock that area down, but King putting some shots on Olaf. And knocks him out.
He's not waking up from that.
And you just have this massive infantry force following the push here, but has seemed to slow down, actually. Hyander.
Pulling back when they should be sitting where they are.
King just got taken out. As Guy Fieri's now running in. Ends up finding 3 people and going down to Syke and Timek firing in as well. More AT firing to that barracks building, doing no damage. I'd imagine that building is set to invincible. No, it's not. The windows are broken, but yeah. So that means Scandi still has 2 AT shots, but they should probably save it for hitting the objectives, not the players here. So we see people right in the map border. Azariah folding in and out. Some explosive traps going off. No, it blew up the barracks building. That was, had to have been an Opfor guy putting an explosive right there and taking it out.
I believe that was Bay. Nope. Maybe Tenderbanger.
I don't see any explosive specialists at all, actually, so that means the engineer symbol's just hidden, so could be anyone with a blank thing, so it's probably Bay.
What it probably was someone in the engineer gave the demos to someone else.
Yeah.
That happens a lot enough.
But, I mean, in terms of Opfor, I don't see any engineer signs on anyone, period, so I think they just don't have the symbol, so. Because normally we see either a triangle or a wrench indicating they are the explosive specialist.
Yeah, Kaker probably gave it to the
Ah.
and he died way back there. So he died and someone picked it up.
So you got Michael infiltrating these bases. He's about to run up to this position. And Yuru had his gun up. So Yuru had his gun on his back. Michael killed the other guy and ran over. And Kakir gets eliminated as people fold in. G-Leg's getting picked off by the BTR.
Mr. Asset, man.
Nemesis, oh, is about to get scuffed here because Green Shade's right behind him. Green Shade hesitating on taking the shot as Nemesis bandages.
You have
Get
a
him.
silence weapon?
Shoot him. Shoot him.
He's got to hit him in the head. That gun's not going to do a lot of damage.
Shoot him. Thank you. You just have to full auto. You have a SOCOM 16.
And no one's going to hear that either.
Shoot him. Now you got X-Ray fucking getting on the rear of Bluefor's line.
Wait, Gabian heard it.
And
Or he knows something.
Colton, thanks for the 5-month resub. I hope you keep enjoying the operations. I do hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. Are you questioning the logic of FNF?
Yeah, go land right underneath that tree.
I know.
Come on, he got shot in the head times.
Quick scope of Blam. Oh my god.
Oh my god, he did.
Bailiff smack his pee.
Yeah, I think it is over. Bravo and Platoon are now in circle.
Yeah.
Oh, here
They just have to actually get AT on these objectives. Oh, my bot might be down for announcements. Yeah, I told you it was probably him. Yeah, because he does have the vehicle kill listed. More explosives going on. That was a truck on... Might have been a little premature, actually. I'm going to be honest.
They're GLing all the trucks.
Bluefor might still have a decent chance here if they can repel this other attack, because Opfor's kind of broken everywhere else, admittedly.
Yeah, if the Pega gets killed here, then it is over.
Tilsiter taking fire as he gets stuck under a fuel truck and just murked. But, I mean, we have an objective truck right in Opfor's grasp, and they're refusing to take it. And then the other one is also pretty much within their grasp. But there's no AT guys up here to get those easy shots. I don't know who the demo specialists are either. So this could just end up becoming an extended round as Opfor goes for kills instead of objectives, which wouldn't be uncommon to see in FNF.
They just picked off Vagrant in the bunker.
More grenades being thrown. You still have some people on X-ray getting licks in here, for Bluefor at least. Yeah, but even the Bluefor guys are falling on that side. Stark getting a nice grenade throw. Only does damage. He's going to need another one or to follow it up. Has a smoke grenade getting thrown through. Heard more satchels go off to his north. He's running for it. Oh, man, he's going to clean these guys up. Beautiful. And Stark is now on 4 kills.
Mass breaching the objective tent. He's somehow not dead.
And he gets murked. Where are the throwable satchels? Ace gets flanked by Banks. Liru still trying to fire at Cullis down range. Liru gets a grenade bounced out.
Ooh, look at that. Skip has a great location, that shot bay.
I missed it. Where was Bay?
Simo and Skip looked underneath the green building
Ah.
and shot him right near that Jeep.
You got Stark coming back around, putting shots on Tackleberry, who has the sniper. He pulls his handgun out.
Yeah, I think it is over for Bluefor. There's just too many of them.
No. Stark with the comeback play. I'm calling it right now. Oh, Stark just took 2 bullets from Tackleberry's super silenced pistol. Grenades being thrown out.
Oh, he's rolling right down into it, though.
He rolled down into one, but still somewhat okay. He's made it to friendly forces now. Stark's gonna have a moment to be able to bandage, though. Opfor have at least a 2-to-1 number advantage right now, but they're not. Opfor's not playing for objectives here. They're playing for kills at this point, so we will see this round go over the 45 minutes. I got the BTR. BTR's not going to be able to kill the VIX, though, because that 14.5 isn't going to be able to cause any detonations. It can shoot out the engines, though, but... yeah. Stark right behind Dobbs and Cullis. One of them goes down. That was the third guy that I didn't even mention. There goes Dobbs. Stark on 6. There is another objective truck destroyed. That was the one inside the area. Now, if they just go down and blow it up, they should be fine.
And the other one's cooking off. Or cooking.
Yep, because the BTR put 14.5 in both, but the BTR is now cooking off as well. Dooley gets a kill off of, I think it was Sanchez breaching in.
I think it's just going to be up to Bravo to clear it up.
It's going to just be up to Opfor to get AT on that final area, but, I mean, who has AT? I don't see any AT guys marked. Oh my god. So if they find AT, well, this is so funny. This is what happens from time to time. You see players just go for the kills instead of the actual objectives, because you can just snipe these damn objectives from afar, but you don't always see that, unfortunately. So Stark's folded into the compound now. We have 5 Bluefor defenders here, and at least a dozen Opfor. Stark on the 50 cal, firing into that BTR.
Stark just going Rambo mode right now.
Pretty much. Cullis taking grenade fire and gets knocked uncon. No, Sanchez was Bluefor. So I don't know the. It might have been Dooley who. No, Dooley was the shooter. So I don't know. There's an Opfor guy that died. Yanni now pushing. Yanni has AT. Does Yanni have a rocket to shoot the truck and win the scenario? Or is it because this other truck is literally in the way, Opfor haven't seen that the truck is right here? That's brilliant. That's so freaking brilliant. That cover of one of Bluefor's random transports Is that why Opfor hasn't spotted it? That's great. Stark crawling up to Cullis' position. He quickly runs to cover because Stark has his gun on his back. He's going to get the high ground. Cullis might have heard it. No, he does not. Oh my god. Well, Cullis found that dude.
Banks and Hunter are breaching Sanchez.
Assuming that's a Hunt IR round, but I could be wrong. Stark taking crossfire from Perton.
Look at that.
Yanni has spotted the final Vic. Does he have the AT?
They might think it's destroyed.
No, it's Scandy. They're not that dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gabian. Yep. Yeah, here it is. GG. At the 45.5-minute mark. Shoot it. And there you go. Yep, so I was close. Yeah, 45 minutes. A little over. Look at that. Objective play. Bluefor killed a lot more Opfor than I thought they would, and they were going to hold out. I don't think the four Bluefor guys remaining would have survived more than 5-10 minutes, but good call. It was a good call.